and we'll get started. So I see we have, looks like John Cody here. Mr. Cody, are you with us? If so, could you unmute? Mr. Cody, can you hear me? Here, I'm going to try and prompt him to unmute there. As he's working on that, looks like we have Stephen Ross. Oh, hi, Mr. Cody. How are you?
Good.
Okay. And you are the owner of the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Welcome. Stephen Rothstein, if you could unmute for me. Okay. It's usually down the bottom left of your
Oh, I see. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome. And again, for the record, you have recently been retained as counsel by Mr. Cody, is that right?
Late yesterday afternoon, yes.
Okay. All right, welcome. We have Wes Munzel from the City Planning Department. Hi, Wes.
Good morning.
Morning. We have someone trying to join here. I'm going to let them in. Also see Dan Perrin here.
Morning.
Morning, Dan. You are a neighboring property owner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And looks like we have someone joining us here from the car. Could you unmute whoever's on the iPhone now?
Hi, this is Rick Peskovitz.
Hi, Rick. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Rick, I see you're in the car. You're not operating the vehicle, are you?
Absolutely not. I learned my lesson.
Okay.
No,
great.
I'm in a parking lot.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So we are here on case number ZH20240131. That's 3265 Brotherton. We are here on a continuance from a prior hearing 2 weeks ago. I believe before we get started, Mr. Rothstein wanted to make a formal motion here on the record. Mr. Rothstein, I'll turn it over to you to make that motion before we get started.
Yes, thank you. I was just retained late yesterday afternoon. I did have a chance to meet with my client and learn that there are 3 issues that are needing to be adjudicated. I have not had an opportunity to contact Mr. Munzel or to review anything in the case file or the staff report. I've not even had an opportunity to go out to the premises and look at it myself. And in the interests of fairness, I would appreciate an opportunity to do that by continuing the hearing. I will say that given the onset of winter weather, this patio is not in use right now anyway. So there really doesn't appear to be any urgency.
Okay. And is there a particular time frame that you're requesting for this continuance?
I don't know how long it'll take for the city to get me everything that they have. And then with the onset of the holidays, I'm thinking maybe sometime early in January.
Okay, thanks. Quickly, Wes, I mean, I know that I can send you all the documentation. Wes, is there any reason you think it would take longer than the end of the day today to make sure that Mr. Rothstein has all the information from the application materials? You'll need to unmute, Wes.
Can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear everything.
Sure, sorry. There is a window washer directly outside my window right now, guys. So if you're hearing some extraneous noise, I apologize. I think he's almost done, but it's a bit loud. Wes, I was saying, is there any reason why you believe we can't get Mr. Rothstein all the materials by the end of the day? And I know that I have the ability to send him all, if not most, but I wanted to confirm with the planning department if there's any reason you believe he cannot get all the materials from the case by the end of the day today.
I mean, the only materials, what are the materials? The application and the staff report? Like,
yeah, whatever materials involving this case that you have.
I mean, as far as I know, everything is uploaded to that portal, and
all.
that's all I'm aware of. I don't
Yeah.
know
So, Mr. Rothstein,
why.
we'll get everything to you by the end of the day today. That won't be a problem. I'd like
And
to
if
hear
somebody
from the.
could send me a
Sure,
link to this portal that he's referring to.
sure. We can do. I will do all of that. That's normal course for these hearings when someone has an attorney. And so, again, in light of your recent retention, that's something that just hasn't happened yet, but um, can absolutely happen in short order. I'm gonna go to the public here. I know that they've had some concerns about this patio, and I know that there were supposed to be some conversations that were supposed to happen between Mr. Cody and neighboring property owners between the last hearing and this hearing. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to weigh in here on this request for a continuance. And so, Mr. Perrin, um, you've heard Mr. Rothstein's request. Do you have any updates conversation wise, or any position on the continuance?
I have not had any conversations with Johnny or in regards of the plans for what this would entail. In regards to the continuance, I would say, as you mentioned, Mr. Rothstein, that there are a few concerning factors that are at play. And I know the property, like the outdoor patio space, is one, and just the sheer location and the zoning ordinances for that. But the other one is also the operating hours. So that's something that, again, as you mentioned, is going in the holiday season, but there is no management or authority to govern that. So I would say that would be something that I want to make sure that we, address sooner than the January continuance, especially again going into holiday seasons.
Um, thank you, Mr. Perrin. I appreciate that. Mr. Peskovitz, anything you
Thank
want
you.
to add here?
John and I met a couple days after the hearing, had a nice meeting. I wanted in person to express our concerns and my suggestion, at least. First of all, I think there was a little miscommunication because I don't know what's legally allowed for the outside patio. My understanding was that it was going to become much larger. But from what I understand, at least talking to Johnny, is that it will remain the same size. That I don't know. I don't even know if it's legal to remain the same size, but I wanted to put that out there that am I right that it's not changing any size that it is now?
No, it's
So,
not changing any
so
size.
yeah, Mr. Cody, let me back up here, just do a little table setting for everyone, so that we all are on the same page from the last hearing. Mr. Cody is requesting 4 different types of zoning relief in order to operate this patio. One of them is just to have an outdoor entertainment area within 100 feet of a residential district boundary line. So any outdoor patio right now, as we stand, is illegal and out of compliance with the zoning code. He is also requesting that outdoor area be able to exceed 50% of the indoor area for a proposed 1,900 square foot outdoor area on the west side of the building. That's approximately 110% more than the size of the indoor area that's publicly accessible, which is 1,800 feet. He's also asking for relief to operate that outdoor area 7 days a week until 2:30 a.m., which requires, again, relief because the zoning code restricts those hours to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday and 12 p.m. on Friday and Saturdays.
12 a.m., right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 12 a.m. Yeah, midnight. The fourth piece of relief is an exception from the buffer yard requirements. And let's see, he would like to allow just a 3-foot buffer yard and a 4-foot fence, which are the existing conditions on the south property line. The zoning code requires a 15-foot buffer yard and a 6-foot privacy fence. So that's essentially the relief that he's requesting. And if there's any operations on the outdoor patio and those conditions aren't met and are in line with the zoning code, again, it is an illegal use of that outdoor space. So that's where we are. That's what he's asking to do. And that's what I'll have to determine whether I should grant that or deny that. When we left at the last hearing, I think the idea was that, or the general sense from surrounding property owners was that some modest use of the outdoor space would not be disqualifying. And I think you all were going to talk about what made sense from a neighboring property perspective and from an operational perspective for Mr. Cody, to see if there was any middle ground there. And Mr. Cody maybe wanted to revise his request in a more modest fashion before I ultimately made a determination on whatever that request may be. So let me
Can
say
I ask
this.
a quick question?
Sure. Yeah.
Johnny, what is the size of that outdoor patio currently?
It's about 15 by about 14 by 30.
Okay, if
It's
it's
about
14 by,
it's about 400
so it's-
square feet.
well, it's 400 square feet and you're asking for 1,800.
No,
That's
I'm not asking for 1,800.
Okay.
I think there's a misunderstanding.
And let me
chime in here?
Yeah, I was going to interject here. I think this is one of the areas where Mr. Rothstein can help us moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd
very
like
much
him
so.
to be able to
Very
take a
much
look at
so.
this. So guys, let me ask the neighboring property owners: have you seen, since our last hearing, have you seen this outdoor patio area in use?
Yes.
Mr. Peskovitz, have you seen
I
or not seen?
personally have not, because I don't live near there, but my daughter lives behind it and I believe she has seen it in use. Correct.
Okay, so I'll say this, Mr. Rothstein, I'd be willing, again, in light of all the factors in your recent retention, to grant a continuance, but it would be under the condition that this outdoor patio area not be in use at all. No portion of it, no patrons allowed on the outdoor patio area while this hearing is pending. And if there are reports or we send inspectors out and there are people out there, then I'll instruct the zoning division to begin enforcement and start issuing fines on the property. Is that a condition of the continuance that that you believe your client can satisfy?
You know, I wish I had the opportunity to talk with my client privately, but this electronic format kind of doesn't allow for that. But it sounds reasonable to me, given the fact that it's December coming up, but I defer to my client. It's his call.
Mr.
I can
Rothstein,
tell you that I'm not prepared to move forward with this hearing today under any circumstances.
got it. Mr. Rothstein, if you'd like, you can call your client right now. We can take a brief recess and you can call him and talk to him on the phone.
Well, let me
Have a
just ask
private
him, Johnny, do
conversation.
you want to talk to me privately, or do you want to go along with this?
No, I haven't had a chance to speak yet.
I'm sorry.
I let me think a second. I'm a little confused.
Sure, take your time.
Well, first there's I cannot lock the door because it's a fire code. So if people go out on the patio and I'm not there or I'm not watching, I can't make them come back in. I cannot lock the door.
But you could not serve them while they're out there. I think that's what they're talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about any presence in the outdoor area.
And
I'm talking
also,
about the outdoor area is closed. It doesn't have to be locked, but someone has to make sure that people stay inside the bar.
Well, would a sign on the door that says no entry or fire exit only, would that work? I mean, you're not requiring him to post a policeman there, are you?
I'm requiring him to manage his bar and his patrons in a reasonable fashion so that the outdoor patio, which is illegal, is not used.
Well, the patio itself, Just so I can understand, the physical existence of the concrete pad doesn't violate anything, right?
The physical existence of the concrete pad does not violate anything,
Okay,
at
so
least
if
in the
somebody
zoning
is
context,
standing on the concrete pad, how is that a violation of something?
because they're using the concrete pad. The physical existence of the pad, unless it's a building code issue, it does not violate anything. But if someone's actually using it, using the concrete pad for as an outdoor space that's a patron of the bar, that is a zoning code violation.
The code that the Mr. Monzel was referring to is about the noise.
Well, we're not getting into that right now. He's asking you if, as a condition of the continuance, and giving me an opportunity to research all these issues, whether or not you're willing to do everything reasonable to keep people off the patio, not serve food or beverage out there between now and the time of the hearing.
Yes, I can do my best.
All right, that's fine.
Yes,
Okay,
I
we'll
can.
agree to it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Wes, did you want to jump in there? I saw you raise your hand.
Yes, I did confirm with the building code reviewers after the last hearing that we talked 2 weeks ago about that egress door to the patio area, and confirmed that the door may be closed but not locked. So to conform to the fire code, the door can be closed but not locked. So that's what I wanted to express when I raised my hand.
Right, which is our understanding as well.
And I
Got
can keep
yeah.
the door closed.
That's great. That's great.
I can-
But
I can-
you
I can
you
keep
do
the
understand.
I can keep the door closed, and I can keep a sign on the door that says closed after 10 or 12.
The whole time.
Oh yeah, the whole time. Okay,
So,
I
but
can do that. Patio's
Mr.
temporarily
Rothstein,
patio's
Mr. Rothstein,
temporarily closed.
do you recognize that bar owners have some responsibility to manage where their patrons can and cannot go?
Of course.
Okay, that's what I'm asking here. However you want to achieve that beyond violating the fire code, is what I'm asking if you are able to do. If you're saying you have no ability to keep patrons off
No, he's not
out of the
saying that.
outdoor
He's
area,
saying he's not
then we
saying
need to
that.
go
He
forward.
said he will do
Sorry.
everything reasonable within his power to keep people off the patio without violating the fire code.
Okay. All right. So in light of that, let's go and let's look at dates here if we can while we have everyone on the call.
Sure.
So I'm looking at the afternoon of January 7th.
I have a trial on January 7th.
Okay. Let's look at January 9th. Or do you anticipate the trial taking a few
I
days there?
don't know. It's supposed to start in the morning, but it's a municipal court, and I don't know how long it's going to take. And I don't know what time they're going to start. So I don't want to be in trouble. So the 9th is much better.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Perrin and Mr. Peskovitz, do you have any sense of what your availability is on the 9th?
I think I can make that work.
Okay, great. Mr. Peskovitz, you are muted, by the way.
Okay, yeah, sorry about the dog in the back.
No problem. Sure.
I am available on the 9th.
Okay. So let's schedule this for January 9th at 10 a.m. This will be again via Zoom. That should give Mr. Rothstein plenty of time to talk with his client, and if there are any further discussions that need to happen with neighboring property owners, hopefully that will give an opportunity for that as well. Um, again,
Is there
I'm
any
going.
chance we could do it on the 10th? I just realized I'm looking at my calendar. I got a doctor's appointment at 9:15. Can we move it a little later or the
We can.
next day?
I'm happy to move it later in the day on the 10th.
Okay, maybe in the early afternoon.
Yeah, that I can
Wait,
do
is that the
1 o'clock.
9th or the 10th?
I'm sorry,
sorry.
on the
9th.
9th. 1 o'clock on the 9th
1
is.
o'clock on the 9th. Sounds good.
Does that work for anyone that doesn't work for? Okay. And again, as a reminder, and for the record, the condition of this continuance is that this outdoor area, again, which does not conform to the zoning code and is illegal, is not used in any way by any patrons of the bar at any time.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for their time and attention today and for talking through this. We will be back on the 9th at 1 o'clock. I will send out a new Zoom invite.
And the city will send me his entire case file and the staff notes today or tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, we will have all that to you. Just a reminder for everyone, if you have questions about the process, like just relating to when we're coming back, how to get on Zoom, case notes, things like that, I'm happy to provide that with you or discuss that with you. I cannot discuss the actual subject matter or the content of this without doing it in an open public forum or an otherwise during one of these hearings. And so I really can't get into any of the meat of this actual case with anyone. I can just discuss the details of the process and make sure that everyone is able to participate fully. Otherwise, happy to discuss some other procedural issues. Okay. Unless there are any other questions now, I think we are ready to adjourn. Anything else?
Nothing from us.
Okay, great. Well, hope you all have a great holiday season. Thanks again. Have a good day. We are adjourned and continue
Thank you.
until